Hello, everybody. Let me see. Make sure that we are live and making sure that people can hear me. All right, so I'm gonna just message my assistant, and making sure that we are live. All right. So today is not only office hours, but we are going to give you some updates. Okay. Um, so if you do have some questions that you want to pose, put it into the feed, I guess, and then I'll be able to see it. Um, but there are some updates that I want to provide and show you. One of them happens to be with Google Business Profile. This probably has been around for some time, but uh, maybe you don't know about it. But you have now ability to add social media profiles into your Google Business Profile. And so for that, I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly what that looks like. All right, so let me go and share my screen. I should have been a little bit prepared, but I apologize. All right, so I am sharing my screen here. All right, and this is a Google Business Profile for my church that I attend. And we are working with them to expand their presence, local presence within where I live, northern New Jersey. And so if you look at this edit profile, so if you go to google.com/business, you should be able to get into your Google business profile, right? So once you edit this, right, if you search down to the bottom, there is now what's called social profile. So I'm going to go in there. I might as well edit it because, hey, you know what? We might as well do some work while we're here. Okay. So I'm going to go to their website and I'm going to put in their YouTube channel because I think YouTube channel is one. And so I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to put it into their channel. I mean, their Google business profile. And then I'm going to add the next one, which is their Facebook. Oops, their Facebook. And I'm gonna go to their site and I'm gonna go look at their Facebook and I'm just gonna copy that. Uh, I actually was using my keyboard, Control C, okay? But we can do the same thing by doing right click on the mouse and then I would just put in Control V, which is copy and paste, right? And then we'll add in their Instagram, right? And let's click on Instagram, copy, in this case, copy, and then paste. And there you go. So for those that didn't know that you have the ability to add your social profile. Now, why is this important? You may say, right? You're wondering why is this important? Recently, Google changed their algorithm, right? The local algorithm, um, and what they're looking at is they're looking at. Let me just hide this. They're looking at authority. So what does that mean? Authority. So every brand entity has some level of authority, okay? And what you have to do is you have to gain that authority from Google in order for you to rank locally on SEO. Now, let me just put in the chat session on the right. And what does that mean? The best way that I could explain it is uh, here. Let me share that because I always try to explain it in such a way that you can understand. And so let's go take a look at. Let me cross this out. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to pull. Let's see here. Going to pull another screen, and I'm going to try to explain it in a way that makes sense. So I'm going to add an extension here. It's called Mosbar, right? And what this Mosbar does is it Let's go take a look at google.com and let's say post. All right, so this is not working. So let me log out and then I'm gonna log back into the Moz bar and see. Hopefully that's going to, okay, so now it's working. So if we go and take a look and let's do a search for Google. Let's just do, let's just, let's go and take a look at Robin Lance Realty. It happens to be one of my clients. And so if you look at this domain authority, this domain authority is 16. So we're looking at authority, right? Whether it's domain authority or whether it's brand or entity, they're looking at authority, okay? And um, let's look at another one. So um, recently, um, our client at Robin Lance Realty asked us to put in a list of the agents on the website. And why is that important? The reason why it's important because everything is interlinked within the world of Google, right? And so when a brand is mentioned in a high authority website, right, their authority basically increases. And so when, let's just say hypothetically, if Lisa, this is her website, her domain authority is only 5, as you can see here. DA stands for, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe let me zoom in here. So you see her domain authority is 5, as you can see here. And you see Robin Land's domain authority is 16. It was higher. So if we were to add Lisa onto her page, we're basically going to go feed a little more juice, they call it, right, into Lisa's page. So in essence, so um, because because Lisa is part of Robin Lands, when we add a page with her information, with her social media profile, because now Google, so the reason why I'm relating back to Google Business Profile and adding the profiles, it basically knows that her Facebook page, her YouTube, her Facebook page is all associated with her. And so everything is kind of linked together. And when we add her page onto Robin's, basically it's going to raise her authority, right? And that's what you're trying to do in this world of the, the online presence, right? And that's what you're is essentially trying to do for businesses to increase their local SEO as well as their global SEO, right? But I was just talking to another associate that I just had right before this live. Global SEO is a really really hard. It's a monster to tackle, right? And for you to try to rank, there are ways, hacks, and things you can do to rank depending on your niche. But really, I won't say the shorter path, right? Instead of trying to globally, is to long rank locally on SEO. Okay, and that's what we focus on. Okay, so um, that's an update. And so let me see what else I was going to talk to you about. Okay, now I also spoke with Lisa, right? One of my clients. I had a discussion with her recently, and she indicated, right, that um, as a result of her increasing her local SEO and driving traffic to her Google Business Profile, she's basically getting calls, getting um, whether inboxed or whether calls of people that are not they're not cold. Let me just drink some water. But they're ready, and they're like ready. They're like warm hot, meaning that they're basically ready to list, ready to buy, and so there's no, and they already came to her as a result of doing research and going directly to her and making the call, inboxing her, or whatever it is. And so the reason why, um, putting your time and effort into local SEO is very important. I think more and more people are realizing that. And I see so many times when people, uh, prospects, people that I talk to, they're constantly switching platforms, constantly. Uh, Basically, when you do that, you're basically redoing and just confusing the heck out of Google, and basically you are starting back from point zero. Okay. All right. Another scenario that I want to talk to about today is another customer. So these are things that actually I'm, working on with our clients and customers as well. Is a business down in Florida, Caladad Grows. Okay. Let me just share this. So if I look at Caladad Grows, right, that's a website. We designed this website for them. Now, let me just turn off this Moz bar so that I usually like to turn off things I don't regularly lose. So when I was looking at their Google, right? So when I was looking at their Google Maps, and I was looking at Caladad. So they actually have two businesses, right? Caladad Hay, Fee, and Grill, and they have Caladad Grills, right? Caladad Grill is a more newer business, right? Here, let me zoom in a little bit. And so their Caladad Fee, they've had this business for a while, right? And the reason why sometimes, for whatever reason, I just like to look at, well, she's one of our clients, but I was just kind of interested in because she hired us for Caladad to optimize their Google business profile for Caladad Girls. But I was just kind of curious as to how their Caladad the other business was. And then as I was looking at their review, I noticed, okay, the newest, I noticed that one of the review was somebody that went in and did a review for their grill. So it dawned on me that the customers don't have confused about the two businesses. Okay, so right now, um, Caladat Grill, they're using our platform Pro 360 for their grill, and so I was thinking, can we utilize the platform Pro 360 to actually send out a newsletter? Well, not necessarily well, basically, um, you know, do two things at the same time. So what I mean by that is um, utilizing our platform, which is let me just say Pro 360, which is our newest platform right now. So they're utilizing Pro 360 and they're sending out newsletters for Caladat Grill, right? Right here. So why not take that newsletter and potentially promote both of their business because they're in the same location? And is it possible to leverage their customer base from their hay business and basically do some sort of whether I call it reactivation uh, to promote the grill. So basically, they've had this Caladat hay business for X number of years, right? I don't know how long. I have to go back and look. I have to find out. But I'm sure she has a list because I messaged her via Facebook and basically said, "Hey, do you have a list from your feed business?" And she said yes, right? And so we can leverage that list and possibly promote both of their business, and that may mean that they have this domain Caladat Wills. So what we may have to do is to make a generic domain, call it Caladat something, right? Could be Caladat caladatstores.com or something like that. And so that way that domain can actually uh, promote both businesses, and then um, so that way she can utilize that our platform to promote utilize it for both businesses. Okay. um, so just a little things that I'm just going over some things that we are dealing with, and finding ways to help our clients to increase leads automatically, without constantly having. I'm not a big fan of ads. I think ads are appropriate as when it's appropriate or when you need it. All right. um, if clients wants if they're in need to generate leads immediately, then whether you run I'm probably for local businesses, local service ads is probably the best way to go rather than Facebook. I'm not a big fan of Facebook ads, but if you need to, then you know I just think with Facebook ads that there's so many variables, and it takes a lot of effort and money to actually fine tune and get it to work properly. So I don't oppose it. I just think that there are better avenues to go to generate leads. Okay. Um, Let me see. So last one that I want to talk to you about before on this call today is uh, a a person, a business owner that actually scheduled a meeting with us. And let me share my screen here. And it's a real estate agent, and I took out any name associated with because I didn't get her permission to share this. So um, she's a residential real estate agent, and basically on when people schedule a discovery call with me, I usually like to ask these questions, and I don't approve the bookings unless they answer all the questions, because I just don't want to waste anybody's time, including the people that are booking it. So she's currently struggling with sending out content to past clients and keeping all current clients updated. Right, very basic to me. It's I think one of the things that I see so many times with real estate agents is that they're going always switching platforms, always switching emailing platforms or website platform. So they're always constantly like, exporting, importing into different databases. And so what you're doing is um, even with emailing, um, when you're emailing nowadays, especially, right, whether you're emailing or sending text message, there's there's reputation involved. So like for example, if you're sending out text message, I get a lot of text messages, people just texting me saying hello or how are you. I immediately report that as junk, and I'm gonna assume that the people that are watching, a lot of people, some people get that, and so what's your first instinct? I usually report it as junk, and basically you're telling the mobile carriers that this is a spammer, right? And the same thing applies in the email space, right? Um, and so you have to there's your phone number, your email, your domain has reputation. And so you have to keep your reputation high, or you have to keep it so that you're not marked or blacklisted as a spammer. And the same thing applies in email, right? So you need to make sure that you set a domain. I would not definitely not use a free Gmail account or free Yahoo, because it's hard to build a reputation off of that. So your domain has a reputation. Your email has a email reputation, and so you need to kind of warm it up and keep the reputation high. Okay, so I kind of went off tangent, but I just wanted you to understand that. And so she asked, do you have an email list? She has two CSV lists. So, basically it's, she probably downloaded it and then, um, you know, kept it as a backup, right? She has a social media presence, and she does have a website. I took that out because I didn't want to show it. Um, and then she has a great following on the website. Then they changed, so I don't know who they means. So I probably need to get in, have a further conversation with her as to what that means. So my, I think fundamentally, from any business perspective, um, you know, you're um, generating business is very simple, right? Is capturing those people. So she has a list of people, right? And now it's just a matter of nurturing them, right? Or basically keeping them in the loop, right? So basically your past clients. And I said this to many people that previously met, that um, you know, if you're watching and you happen to be my real estate agent that sold us our home, we don't get any emails or follow up or calls. I think that's where a lot of the real estate agent um, that don't understand the spirit of influence and how it's important, right, to keep them, or keep your spear updated, not with I'm not a big fan of those real estate agents that actually just get those basic template newsletters that they sign up for and they send it out, because they're very generic, really. Because at the end of the day, if you are real estate agent and you want to build influence and you want to be your local you know authority in your local market, then you have to provide local content that is really valuable, right, to the homeowners, right? um, or for example, if you are any local business, you need to provide content that you that you know is going to be valuable. So that requires time and effort for you to sit down and think about what you are going to send them. Because if you're afraid of people unsubscribing from your email list, then they're going to unsubscribe because you're not putting the time and effort to really think about what's important for your customers, right? So anyway, that is it in terms of I think what I had to discuss. I'm going to see if there's any questions in the chat. I can't tell from Talk Studio um, if there are any. Yes, I can chat. So let me just make sure, because there is a little bit of delay. Um, I'm just going to wait another 30 seconds before I call it. Let me see. I have a calculator. I mean, not a calculator. I have a clock here. So I'm going to just make sure. I'm going to put in here. I'm going to wait 1 minute. While I do that, I'm just going to wait around and see if there's any questions, right? Next week, I'm going to be talking about, what's my next week's topic? My next week's topic is going to be how to reduce churn. That word churn is more related to the software industry. But in the case of, if you're a service-based business, how do you, I guess, I wouldn't say churn, but if you are on a membership, like you may have a service that basically provides monthly service. So for those service-based business like real estate agents that has like a one-time transaction, how do you reduce, how can I relate churn to that industry? It is now 1 minute. Um, it it's probably more related to how uh, you know when your clients come and let's say they buy a house for the first time, would they ever, is there any opportunity that they can come back and refer other customers, right, or other clients, or other friends and family and stuff like that? And so that you know basically is nurturing them. And so we're going to talk about ways how to reduce your churn and some effective ways to do that next week. All right. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next week. Bye now.